Welcome to the Home Downsizing Show. My name is Ben Souchek, your host and the owner and founder of Home Downsizing Solutions. With the Home Downsizing Show, I want to provide you the information and resources to make the downsizing of your house stress and hassle-free. So sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us. Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of the Home Downsizing Show podcast. Today's show is going to be relatively short. I'm recording this just a few days before Memorial Day, and so just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all the active duty and military veterans that might be listening to the podcast. I myself was active in the Navy from 1985, July of 1985 to 1991, and then spent 14 years in the Naval Reserves to technically get my 20 years in. So technically I'm retired from the U.S. Naval Reserves, but during my 6 years of active, I was an electronic warfare technician that essentially we maintained and operated a big radar detector. So that's what I did on two different aircraft carriers during those 6 years. The first was a year and a half and one deployment on the USS Carl Vinson, which is a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, CVN-70. And then I spent about 3 years on the USS Ranger, CV-61, which is now and has been for some time decommissioned. But I did enjoy my time being on those aircraft carriers. You never knew that you were really at sea when you were inside the skin of the ship, because they never listed, they never moved much. And so if I was going to be on any ship, I think I preferred to be on those aircraft carriers at the time. But enjoyed seeing a lot of places. Being a kid that grew up on a farm in Nebraska, seeing the world literally was quite an eye-opening experience. To be able to see places and countries such as, I guess some of the port visits that I was at, Busan, South Korea, the Philippines several times, Thailand, Hong Kong a couple times, Singapore, Perth, Australia, Mombasa, Kenya, and enjoyed seeing a safari. I went on a 2-day safari in Kenya. That was very, very interesting and saw a lot of great things there. United Arab Emirates, after the first Gulf War, a Desert Storm. That was the third deployment that I was on, was the deployment for Operation Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf. And fortunately, we timed that so that it was, we arrived back in San Diego at exactly the same time that we had planned to. So that was, I guess if any conflicts could be timed any better, that was it. So those are my 6 years of active duty, and I know and I'm thankful that I didn't see more exciting times during the time that I was in active duty or in the reserves, and I was never called up in the reserves for any operations. But just that's my background in the military. And just, again, wanted to take this opportunity to thank those of us, or those of you, who served and are serving in the military and defending this country. One of the reasons I wanted to mention the other countries that I was at is, again, as a young farm boy from Nebraska, and seeing all those other areas, especially some of the very poor countries such as Kenya and the Philippines, it really gives a person, or at least in my case, I won't speak for anybody else, but it really gave me an appreciation for what we have in this country and for the freedom and the opportunity that we have in this country to do and be what we want to do and be. And I think a lot of people take those things for granted, especially what I see in today's environment. And so I'm just grateful that I saw the things that I saw that give me a great appreciation to really say that we are in the greatest country in the world, in the United States of America. And so thank you again to the veterans and active duty military that are out there, especially the ones that served during much more difficult times in World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And thank you for protecting this country and giving us the opportunities that we have in this country. So thank you again. And I would encourage anyone that might be listening to take part in the Memorial Day activities and thank a veteran and appreciate the opportunities and freedoms that you have in this country. So thank you again for listening to the Home Downsizing Show, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Home Downsizing Show. For additional information and resources on home downsizing, just go to homedownsizingblueprint.com. That's homedownsizingblueprint.com. Or if you're ready to sell your house and downsize, just go to homedownsizingsolutions.com. That's homedownsizingsolutions.com. And if you have ideas to improve our show or topics that you'd like us to cover, or have any questions that we can answer, just call our office toll free 855-291-5005. That's 855-291-5005. Thank you.